And that, I sent that late last night.
Oh, we had it, we pushed it up.
Oh, you did?
Mhm.
Excellent. Okay. I sent that late last night.
Okay, so he's unmuted it.
Okay, he unmuted, so I'll mute ours. Sounds good, Kyle, wherever you are. This one's the second. Okay, I'm killing the audio now.
We have all you? Yeah, very good. I'll call the meeting to order then. And our agenda item is to make a recommendation for approval to council Monday night for what we classify as city-sponsored events. I'll entertain discussion.
Well, I might turn it over to David and let David
Okay.
cover his information he provided.
Sure. At the last meeting, the committee had asked me to pull together what the expenses were for the city, for special events that are city-sponsored. It's important to note, for instance, that Uncle Sam Jam is all in kind. That's an event sponsored by Park and Rec. Coltrane Festival is what Coltrane Festival is out at City Lake Park, and what the city's investment is in there. I've included what for the theater, what our expenses are. Actually, for Art Splash, that $1,500 would be, if we were renting it, that's what we would get. That's not actual truly investment in that. Spring Market is, of course, in there, and Fall Market. All these events are things that our nonprofit organizations within the city put on. The Holiday Parade, the MLK Parade, National Night Out, the picnic in the plaza. Well, basically, we don't charge Make-A-Wish and Simon to use picnic in the plaza, but basically what we do get is about 3.5 or 4 hours per event of nonstop airtime on the radio. So if we do it as a trade out, we look at it in terms of that. I didn't exactly, I don't know what the police department requirements were for the PSA soccer form. I'm guessing that that's handled internally, so all of those events are on there. The only event that we had in question at the last time was the bicycle race, and the bicycle race had originally been approved for the criteria. It has changed to a charity ride, which is a little bit different in terms of the scope of the number of people that it brings to the community. And I think that was the only item on the list that, as a committee, we didn't see really in the same category as the MLK Parade and the Holiday Parade.
And Sarah, you had talked about Unity Fest. Did you look into numbers for Unity Fest?
As far as what these numbers are, I can airball a few things probably. But there's, as far as the folks in the room who could get those numbers a little better than I could, I know last year, the city actually did support that event. And I want to say it was to the tune of $2,500 or so. Randy, you wouldn't remember that number off the top of your head, would you?
I do not, but Eric,
I do not either.
but that, we did go back to the committee, I think it was the finance committee at that point, that it took from some of the undesignated funds that we asked the group to set aside for our nonprofit grants.
Yeah.
And we gave a grant for that.
Right.
And I think, Dave, you
And
remember?
really, to that end, the committee had also recommended Uptown Stroll be included as a city-sponsored event along with the Unity Festival. It just seemed like those two events were really appropriate for this committee to.
There was a question at the last meeting about Mike McNair's community development funding, and I went back and looked at the last 5 years. The only group that's on here that received a grant, or they received the grant, was GoFar, but they did not choose to initiate the contract. So they actually didn't receive funding through Mike's CDBG community development money. Just wanted to report that.
And Uptown, how is Uptown?
Well, Uptown is just because it's all the businesses in the Uptown area, there's a limited amount of police presence there, except just to make sure that people are able to cross the streets.
But they pay for that.
But they've
correct?
always paid for that. Yeah. The Uptown business.
So the discussion had been replacing the cycling classic with the Unity Fest on this.
Yeah.
on this sheet. And I talked to Chris Labonte. You may know more information with this. The point we are with the cycling classic is the Labontes are happy to put their name on it. They have a tough time getting sponsorship because it's about $150,000 event. So she says it's just tough to get people in the city to offer sponsorship. So she says if someone would like to take it over, she'd welcome the help. But she says she doesn't have the time to, treat it as a full-time job long enough to actually get that kind of funding. So they would love to continue it. They just don't have anybody that's taking it over and saying we'll spearhead it. The charity ride, she says, is really not hard to put together. It's nicer to get that tagged on to something else that, as an event in itself. You can see the numbers were 400 for the charity ride. The cycling classic was several thousand. So that's where that sits.
I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think most of the charity ride occurs outside the city limits.
Correct, most of it's down West Lexington. And so the cycling classic hasn't actually happened since 2017. And now the Liveability ride got added in as part of the High Fest. And it changes each year. Sometimes it's a 5K, sometimes like last year they wanted to add the mayor's ride, or the mayor's ride. So it changes every year.
So is this actually the number, the dollar amount, $3,600 from the last year, or was that the 2017 number?
No, that was actually from last
Year. I mean, it was a lot higher when we had a cycling class, obviously, but the cost is not this minimal amount.
But what are the costs now for the charity?
Well, that'd probably be about right, but those are all, if you're looking at that number, that 3650, those are all in-kind expenses or what we would charge another group for those. A lot of that's probably bike rack. We have some personnel that work that day, but the race just originates here from the terminal, and then your range ride just goes out of Davidson County, and then you come back. It's almost it's only about a half day event. They tacked some other stuff on last year with some other things. Maybe it was a full day event last year.
When the cycling classic was downtown, starting at the.
Yeah, and that used to be a 2 day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's changed every
Significantly
year.
more expensive.
So it was a 2 day, yeah, that was a lot of expense.
It's a cycling classic in 2017 cost just for law enforcement $22,000. But last year, the body ride was $2,700 because you got a lead car, follow car, officers at major intersections.
Correct.
And the historical perspective on that is when it was the criterion, there were other organizations in town that were putting the criterion together. Those folks sort of fell off like fish on scales on a fish and left Kristen holding the bag to put this entire event together. And so over the last 2 years, they merged with High Fest and the hospital fund run,
The Heart and Soul.
Heart and Soul race 2 years ago in 2018. And then last year they were on their own again because there was no High Fest.
So that's where that event is. And she says they normally start organizing in January and they haven't gotten together this year. So cycling event probably isn't happening in 2020. The charity ride can, but it hasn't been organized yet.
We have their permit in process, kind of awaiting what this committee recommends to council.
So I just pulled the numbers on the Unity Festival to find out exactly what it was. It was $2,500, which is what the city did. And it was through the outside agency funding grant, which is what funded it. And I also got attendance numbers from Patrick. And so about 800 folks are in attendance there. If we just wanted comparison numbers, I think Cycling Classic, Liveability event, all those numbers combined gives us close to about $7,000. That looks like we're spending in total it looks like estimate about 400 in attendance, and Unifest was 2.5 or 2,500 total expense from cities to support last year, and about 800 in attendance.
The Labonte bike ride raised $40,000 for the Labonte Foundation, and most of that money is spent in High Point. It's not all. Some goes to Winston-Salem, some goes to Greensboro, but usually through things like Big Brothers Big Sisters that are countywide or region-wide. So most of the money, all the money stays in the triad. Most of it is used in High Point. So, you know, you can balance that as well, that it's a $40,000 investment into the community as well. I personally would love some group to pick up the Classic or the bike ride. I just don't know who that group would be. I would love to have somebody show up on my doorstep and say, you know, I'd really love to take over that cycling Classic. But as you said, that was many groups in the city, and just one by one, those groups fell off, and it's all in Kristen's lap now. So I'd love to figure out a way to get that back into some of the groups in the city. So with that said, you know, I'll entertain motions or further discussion, further questions.
Yeah, I would make a motion that Unity Festival be added to this list of events to support. And if we cap that number at what was used last year, I'm pretty sure they would be fine with that. And if, yeah, that's, I would make a motion that we add that to the list.
If we add one, we need to remove one. So I'm happy to add one. It's just which one to remove is the tough part.
Does History Rocks at the museum still happen?
All the, as far as I know, all the events, I've been told all the events are still on the books for this year.
Wasn't there a note from Mary about that they would not be adding that?
I do not remember. Eric or Craig, y'all remember seeing anything from Mary on that?
No, I don't shoot her anymore.
I don't remember seeing anything.
But that's not an expense anyway.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe there's sort of a middle ground between, instead of, so what I'm thinking about Cycling Classic or Levante Charity Ride, instead of canceling our support of that entirely, if we just reduced it, the estimated amount that we would do for Unity Festival, that will allow us to still support both events.
Is that okay, Randy?
Whatever the council wants, the committee wants to do, and the council ultimately agrees to. My only concern is this is going to be an extremely challenging year budget-wise. So I'd like to see you hold the line on the total cost.
Mark has a good memory. We did get an email on February 24th that History Rocks has been removed from the museum. The museum is no longer.
Yeah, so we would hold line on total costs if we reduce the Levante by 2,500 and use that 2,500 to support Unity Festival.
The problem with just saying that you reduce it is they still need the same police coverage at intersections and lead car and all that was described earlier. And so I don't know whether they can hold it and reduce the cost or not. I don't know. Maybe they can, but they may have a better idea.
Yeah, and Wesley's right, though. We typically, I'm on that committee with the charity ride, and we typically meet year round, and we're in different situations now. We have not met this year at all about that, and it does take a lot of planning throughout the course of the year. So I'm not sure the status of it this year. I haven't talked to Kristen lately about the ride, but it sounds like you have, so I'm not gonna talk to her where we stand. Yeah. Because it's a pretty big effort. There's a lot of volunteers that are involved in planning of that event too. We usually meet monthly. I know we're in different times now, but we have done those situations.
So I would love to figure out a way that we can say, we still want to support cycling classic. But I'm not sure it's gonna happen. I'm not sure the charity ride is gonna happen to the level that it happened last year. So,
And I think the charity ride, Wesley, is the easy part, like you talked
Absolutely.
about. That's the other things they put on, they try to, you know, maybe
Right.
like the family center
Right.
and all that. It was like a day, that's the whole way.
and I think what happened last year is that Kristen actually wound up doing some out-of-pocket expense too.
I'm sure.
That brought it almost back down to zero as well. So, I mean, it really is at the point where some groups in the city need to take that event over and help her out. She's really doing it all on her own. And I think she's getting worn out. So that said, does it help us to even have to even reduce that $2,500? Like you said, I don't know if that means anything.
Till you determine what the scope's gonna be, you can't really determine the cost.
I agree with that, because if they don't do the day festival part of it, none of the police costs will still be there with the ride.
Yeah.
Our costs would go down significantly, and there's basically the only two costs with them. There's some smaller costs for public service and day, but, if we're not doing that, of course, the most of our costs would go down.
How about if we take it off the city sponsored events and I start making some phone calls to start getting in, to get some more participation in it. Because I think if it stays right now, the way it is right now, it's not gonna happen. I don't think Kristen's gonna put it on by herself, so I think it's dependent on some sponsorship coming up. So let me work on getting some sponsorship. So we know Unity Fest. Yeah, Unity Fest is happening.
Oh, they're already planning it, yes. They've already got their date and everything set up. So they're rocking and rolling, looking to continue growing it.
So you're looking at removing the body.
I think
cycling
that that's,
classic from the,
I think that as it stands right now, that's the one that makes sense.
Okay.
And let me start working with CDB a little bit more on that, and see if I can get Randy Carter involved in it. I know that he was one of the ones that originally organized that. So if you'd like to finish making that motion.
So I guess I'm just continuing the motion about adding Unity Festival to the list of sponsored events and removing the Cycling Classic Monte event from the list.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
All right.
Any further discussion on it? No opposition. So let's make that recommendation to full council on Monday.
okay, Uptown Stroll was mentioned earlier. At this point, you want to leave it?
At this point, I think that they're very comfortable. I've talked to Elizabeth as well about that, and I think they're at a let's figure out what we're doing. They're at a reorganization place as well, so she and I have been talking.
What the action you just took was on the events, the authorized events that we'll support. The policy also covers some additional cost of rental of equipment. And Mark's here with like to make a short presentation on that.
Yeah, we looked at the list of the equipment things, the rental equipment provided, and we were just recommending an increase in the traffic cone rental from $2 to $5, and the use of the sign truck with an error board or message board from $18 to $25. That's really just to cover our costs. We can't replace it for $2, right? And believe me, they disappear, so they go to cone something. But that's the only recommendations that we had on the price listing.
What was this for the signing and?
For the sign truck, with message board or error board, whatever is most appropriate, from $18 to $25 an hour. And traffic cone rental is $5 each per day.
Lee, did you have any cost adjustments that you were thinking?
We didn't make any adjustments, and in the budget, we made some small adjustments related to arm fees and charges, but there was nothing to do with special events. Main charges, obviously just for the stage, we have a nonprofit and a profit rate for that. And then bike racks is included in that as well. It's more, ours is more on the personnel side and maintenance of events, trash pickup, things like that too. And those are the two big items as far as the rental items that come in for special events.
Do we need action on
And
that?
just, if you're inclined, if you just include that in your recommendation for council on Monday night, then.
Okay. Is that agreeable?
On those costs, the police department wasn't requesting an increase, we just wanted to clear up some of the ambiguity. It says $40 per hour. We want to say per officer per hour, because some events might have 16 officers, some might have 4. I want somebody to submit their application, and it's just $40 per hour.
Okay. Any other adjustments?
This list, as far as how it's compiled here, what's the flexibility on us supporting other events that may take place this year? If it's like, for example, the conversation that's being had now, that's going to bring another event to downtown. I think I mentioned it to you guys, Culture and Festivals looking to expand out.
Usually what we'll do is the finance committee will hold 10,000 or so from nonprofit allocations. And if we have events like that, then we can pull for things like that.
Yeah, that's where the flexibility comes. And this list ought to be reviewed next year about this time. And if that event comes and it's successful and you want to be annual, then it ought to be considered.
Like the football tickets that we got for the game last year, that came out of that finance committee budget. We have a little fund for those things.
I hope you have it this year.
I hope so. Yeah, we're gonna have a challenge with allocations on that. Anything further?
That's all we have, Mr. Chairman.
All right. If nothing else, we're adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And we all file out single file.
Can you type up that recommendation?
Yes, sir.
So let me know if you need.
Oh, you're welcome.